Today, we uncover 7 Australian laundry detergent brands loaded with chemicals that stick to your clothes, irritate your skin, and pollute waterways long after they leave your washing machine. Because right now, sitting in Aussie laundry cupboards are detergents packed with optical brighteners that bioaccumulate in aquatic life, synthetic surfactants that can harm river ecosystems, and artificial fragrances that build up on fabric and transfer straight onto your family's skin. But stay with me, because at the end, I'll show you the cleaner alternatives actually worth putting in your trolley. When you and I walk into Coles or Woolworths and grab laundry detergent, most of us are operating on autopilot. Big brand, familiar smell, done. We trust that if it's on the shelf at a major supermarket, it must be safe for our clothes, safe for our skin, and at least halfway decent for the environment. But here's where it stops making sense. Modern laundry detergents are chemical cocktails designed to make your whites look brighter without actually cleaning them better. They use optical brighteners that coat your fabric with chemicals that glow under UV light, tricking your eye into thinking your clothes are cleaner when really they're just masking dullness. They load products with synthetic fragrances and preservatives that can irritate sensitive skin and trigger allergies. And they use surfactants that wash into Australian rivers, where they can persist and harm aquatic life. This is the bit most Aussies never see. The Industrial Chemicals Regulator in Australia has identified fluorescent brightener compounds used in laundry detergents as substances that may pose risks, yet they are still common in mainstream products. Scientific research shows that optical brighteners like DAST and FB71 are commonly used in commercial detergents and can bioaccumulate because they don't break down easily. So let's flip that label around for a second, because the brands we're about to walk through aren't just not perfect. They're products that raise serious questions about what we're willing to put on our family's skin, night after night, wash after wash. Number 1 is the detergent Aussies have trusted for decades, but the ingredients list tells a different story. Number 1, Omo Ultimate Powder. Omo is Australia's most iconic laundry brand. It's the name your mum used, your nan used, and the one you probably reach for without thinking. Choice testing shows Omo products consistently score well for cleaning performance, with Omo Ultimate Powder earning high ratings for stain removal. But let's flip that label around. Cleaning power isn't the whole story. Mainstream Omo products, like many conventional detergents, contain optical brighteners, enzymes, and synthetic fragrances that industry critics say can irritate skin. Optical brighteners work by absorbing UV light and re-emitting it as visible blue light. The problem is, these chemicals are designed to stay on your clothes after washing. This means they transfer directly onto your skin when you wear those clothes. For people with sensitive skin, babies, or young children, this constant exposure can cause irritation. And here's where things get uncomfortable. Optical brighteners don't break down easily in the environment. They end up in wastewater and can accumulate in aquatic organisms. If this is already sitting in your laundry, don't panic. But next time, here's what I'd do instead. Look for the words "No optical brighteners" on the label, or switch to a sensitive line that strips out the unnecessary chemicals. And if you thought Omo was the only household name hiding these ingredients, number 2 is the detergent marketed specifically for cold water washing, but still loaded with the same chemical tricks. Number 2, Cold Power Advanced Clean. Cold Power built its reputation on one simple promise: clean clothes in cold water. It sounds eco-friendly and energy-saving. But Cold Power's mainstream advanced clean liquid and powder products typically contain the same conventional ingredients found across the industry: optical brighteners, synthetic fragrances, and dyes. So while Cold Power works well in cold water, that doesn't mean it's gentle on skin or kind to waterways. Here's where it stops making sense. You're buying Cold Power because it sounds responsible, but the formula itself is still packed with chemicals that experts warn can irritate sensitive skin. And this is the part nobody talks about. Marketing cold water washing as eco distracts from the bigger question of what's actually in the detergent. If this is already in your trolley, don't panic. But next time, be careful. Even some sensitive capsules contain optical brighteners. I'll show you the specific liquid version that doesn't in a minute, because what you're about to hear changes the way you look at Australia's other major detergent players. Number 3, Dynamo Professional. Dynamo markets itself as professional-grade cleaning power. The packaging suggests industrial strength, and in Aussie homes, it's trusted as a solid performer. But Dynamo's mainstream formulas follow the same conventional playbook: optical brighteners to fake extra whiteness, enzymes to break down stains, and synthetic fragrances to create that fresh, clean smell. Let's flip that label around. Professional-grade cleaning doesn't mean safe-grade ingredients. It often means powerful chemicals designed to strip stains, and those same chemicals don't disappear when the wash cycle ends. They coat your clothes and flow into waterways where they can persist. If this is already in your laundry cupboard, don't panic. But next time ask yourself, do I need professional-grade chemicals on my family's everyday clothes, or do I just need clean? And if you thought professional strength was the peak of unnecessary chemicals, number 4 is the budget option that tricks shoppers with big promises and small print. Number 4, Aldi Laundrite Laundry Liquid, Aldi's home brand. Laundrite is the budget grab plenty of Aussie families make to save a few dollars. Big bottle, low price, simple choice. But historically, choice testing has found that Aldi Laundrite Laundry Liquid for front loaders performed shockingly poorly, scoring just 50% in some tests. That is the same score as washing with plain water. Let that sink in. You are paying for a detergent that, in testing, did nothing better than tap water. Here's where it stops making sense. You're paying for chemicals that coat your clothes, fragrance that masks the fact it's not cleaning, and a brand name that tricks you into thinking budget means value. And because Laundrite is a conventional detergent, it likely still contains the standard chemical load, just without the cleaning performance to justify it. If this is already sitting under your laundry sink, next time I'd spend the extra few dollars on a detergent that actually tested well, because saving money on a product that doesn't work isn't saving anything. And if budget detergents can fail this badly, number 5 shows how even mid-range brands play the same chemical tricks. Number 5, Radiant Advanced Plus Laundry Powder. Radiant positions itself as the modern, multi-benefit detergent. Color care. Whites stay white. Packaging that suggests it's a step up, but Radiant's conventional formulas still rely on the same chemical toolkit: optical brighteners to fake whiteness, and synthetic fragrances to create the perception of freshness. Let's flip that label around. Whiter whites sounds impressive until you realize that effect often comes from chemicals that don't break down in the environment. Optical brighteners coat your fabric with a substance that glows. That chemical stays on your clothes, transferring to your skin every time you wear them. For babies and children with delicate skin, this repeated exposure can trigger irritation. So why is this a problem? Because marketing claims distract from the question of whether you actually need all those chemicals touching your family's skin. And if mid-range brands are playing the same game, number 6 is the powder Aussies grab without thinking, but the formula raises the same concerns. Number 6, Biozet Attack Powder. Biozet Attack has been in Aussie laundries for years. The name suggests aggressive stain-fighting power. Choice testing generally shows Biozet performs decently. But here's where it stops making sense. Biozet Attack's powder formulas typically contain enzymes and optical brighteners. Interestingly, the brand's own FAQ has stated that while their liquids might be free of them, the powders are not, because it's marketed as a workhorse for tough stains. Many families assume it's safe for everyday use on kids' clothes and school uniforms, but the chemicals don't discriminate between tough stains and delicate skin. optical brighteners stay on fabric after washing. This means your child's school uniform is coated with chemicals that can cause skin irritation. If this is already in your laundry, don't panic. But next time, consider whether you need attack-level chemicals for everyday washing, because number 7 is where the chemical load gets even more uncomfortable. The active detergent that promises expert cleaning but delivers the same environmental concerns. Number 7. Active Expert Laundry Powder. Active positions itself as the smart, affordable choice. Choice testing has shown Active Expert laundry powder scores around 60% middle-of-the-pack performance. But at a very low cost per wash, it looks like great value. But let's flip that label around. Cheap doesn't mean clean, and it definitely doesn't mean gentle. Active's conventional formulas use the same optical brighteners and synthetic chemicals found in more expensive brands. See the pattern? Different brand, same playbook. Whether you're buying Omo for brand trust, Cold Power for energy savings, Dynamo for strength, or Active for low cost, you're getting variations on the same chemical cocktail. Optical brighteners that coat your clothes, synthetic fragrances that build up on fabric, and surfactants that flow into waterways. So what do we actually do differently? Because the uncomfortable truth is, we need to wash clothes. Let me show you the realistic alternatives that strip out the worst chemicals without forcing you into boutique shops. Now let's talk about the laundry detergents actually worth your time. If I had to rebuild my laundry routine for my own family, I'd start with products that remove the unnecessary chemicals. Worth it, option 1, Cold Power Sensitive Liquid. I have to be specific here, the liquid. Cold Power Sensitive Liquid is the rare case where a mainstream brand got it right. It is explicitly formulated to be free from dyes, fragrances, and optical brighteners. Be careful with the capsules or powder in this same range. Check the label, as some sensitive powders still contain brighteners. But the Cold Power Sensitive Liquid is a solid supermarket choice that strips out the chemicals that serve no cleaning purpose. Worth it, option 2, Omo Sensitive Liquid. Choice testing shows Omo sensitive products score well for cleaning performance. But again, you have to be smart. The Omo Sensitive Liquid does not contain optical brighteners. However, the Omo Sensitive Powder often does. If you've been loyal to Omo for years, switch to the Sensitive Liquid. You get the cleaning power without the coating of fluorescent chemicals on your clothes. Worth it, option 3, Eco-certified detergents. Consumers should look specifically for products that are free from optical brighteners, as these chemicals build up on clothes. Brands that carry genuine eco-certifications and clearly state no optical brighteners and no synthetic fragrance are the ones worth considering if you care about reducing chemical exposure. Worth it, option 4, soap-based or plant-based detergents. For families willing to step outside the mainstream aisle, soap-based or plant-based detergents strip out synthetic chemicals entirely. They use plant-derived surfactants instead of synthetic brighteners and artificial fragrances. They are fully biodegradable, breaking down quickly in waterways instead of persisting. The pattern hiding in your laundry cupboard. This is where it stops being about one bottle of detergent and starts being about how Australian households have been trained to value the wrong things. We've been sold on whiter whites without realizing that whiteness is a chemical trick, not a sign of cleanliness. We've been sold on powerful fragrances without understanding those fragrances are synthetic chemicals that sit on our skin. Scientific research shows that optical brighteners are on environmental control lists because of their capacity to bioaccumulate. Experts warn these chemicals can cause skin irritation and harm aquatic life. Yet mainstream brands use them because they work, they're cheap, and most Aussies don't read the fine print. So next time you and I are standing in the laundry aisle at Coles or Woolworths, here's the simple move. Stop buying the brand story. Start reading the ingredients. Look for the words "no optical brighteners" and "no synthetic fragrances." Those are the signals that a detergent is focused on actually cleaning your clothes instead of coating them with chemicals. Australian laundry culture drifted from simple soap and water to industrial chemical cocktails. But every time you and I choose a detergent free from optical brighteners, we push back. We tell the industry we're not falling for fake whiteness anymore. We protect our families from unnecessary chemical exposure, and we reduce the chemical load flowing into Australian rivers. So here's the simple step I'd love you to try after this video. Next time you buy laundry detergent, flip the bottle over. If it contains optical brighteners or synthetic fragrances, ask yourself, do I actually need these chemicals, or am I just buying the marketing story? Then choose a sensitive liquid or eco formula that strips them out. If you want more deep dives like this into Australian supermarket staples that quietly affect your family's health, hit like and subscribe so we can keep decoding your trolley together, and tell me in the comments, which of these brands shocked you the most and what's sitting in your laundry cupboard right now? Stay aware, stay sharp, and protect your skin.